Hi, we are Inspiration Innovation. I'm Hannah Carroll.
I'm Eric Henry. I'm Sam Mahmoud.
I'm Dylan Morgan.
I'm Jeremy Shepp.
We would like to now introduce you to a pressing issue amongst a delicate population.
These chronic illnesses that we just saw, they can be treated using two different methods. One of those methods is through a mechanical ventilator. The use of a mechanical ventilator provides positive expiratory pressure, which allows these infants to breathe properly. However, there are several harmful effects due to the mechanical ventilator. As you can see, the images behind me, these illustrate the differences between the respiratory distress syndrome and bronchopulmonary dysplasia. And prolonged use of a mechanical ventilator leads to BPD. Also, the use of a mechanical ventilator is very costly and can be very invasive.
The second method used to assist these infants with their breathing is a bubble CPAP, or continuous positive airway pressure system. The system is much gentler on their lungs, along with much easier to use for respiratory therapists, along with cheaper. It is also a spontaneous system, which means that the infant is actually breathing for themselves, while the CPAP system only provides a splint for when they are exhaling and the pressure is lowered. If they can't breathe on their own, they must be switched back to mechanical ventilation. Our device, the Gentle Inspiration, fits into the system as shown by this next video.
The caregiver fills the canister with liquid to the line which marks the CPAP level prescribed to the patient. Fine adjustments of the liquid level can be made by the stopcock. Air flows from the wall source and exits through the horizontal holes and creates the bubbling. The flow of air into the liquid causes a back pressure in the system. This pressure forces air to stay in the infant's lungs to keep the alveoli open. The gentle bubbling causes the pressure to oscillate, which is safer for underdeveloped lungs. This is an example of how our bubble CPAP is actually set up in the NICU. The blue tubing is the inspiratory line, whereas the white tubing is the expiratory line. This is a close-up view of the device and its compatibility with the setup in the NICU.
So as you can see from the end of that video, our device is compatible with the current technologies used in the hospitals today. But it also provides a few beneficial features, such as the efficiency through the use of the stopcock for changing the water level, which in turn changes pressure, along with a much more stable tube due to it being fused to the lid, which increases the stability of the entire system and therefore increases the accuracy.
So these three graphs show the actual CPAP pressure that is being delivered over a range of flow rates. In the NICU at WakeMed Hospital, the nurses typically use a flow rate of 8 to 9 liters per minute. In these graphs, the red lines indicate our device, Gentle Inspiration, whereas the blue lines represent the WaterPAP system, which is the current device used at WakeMed. Both devices were set at 3 different levels of CPAP pressure, and then the actual CPAP pressure was measured using a manometer. In the interval that the nurses typically use at WakeMed, our device, Gentle Inspiration, can be seen to maintain a constant CPAP pressure, whereas the WaterPAP system increases the pressure. Also, the WaterPAP system is about 2 centimeters of H2O higher than it is actually set for, while our device maintains the exact CPAP pressure that it is set to.
We have made it evident at WakeMed Hospital the value of a stable bubble CPAP system. Only with your support can we provide the improvements for these premature infants so they can have long-term quality of life. Thank you very much for listening. Please feel to stop by our table if you have questions. We'd also like to thank the following people for their time and their direction in our project.